Hello, hello, crafty peeps. Welcome back to my channel, Crafty-ish Kristyn. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on my very first Christmas premiere video. I am so honored to be a part of this tradition in the crafting community, and just a huge, big awkward hug thank you to all of the people involved in putting this together. I can't even imagine what an undertaking it must have been. So you all are amazing. Huge round of applause. You're all clapping, right? Good. Okay, great. If you are tuning in live and just came from the previous video, welcome. And if you are just checking in or watching it on a replay, welcome as well. There have been some amazingly talented creators who have already had their premiere videos, and even more to come. I love that the crafting community can come together to provide 3 straight days of videos for us all. I hope you guys have enjoyed the premieres so far, and don't forget that you can go back and catch up on any that you missed. They won't be going away. Check the playlist. I know I will have to go back and catch up because I like to sleep sometimes, and there's no way that I can watch 24 hours a day of videos. Hopefully I will be in the live chat with you guys, listening to myself talk awkwardly and chatting along with you. Hi, hello, hello. Let me know where you're from. I do have some decorations out right now. These little reindeer guys that were my mom's. They used to always sit on the coffee table next to my dad's chair, and some various ornaments that I have gotten over the years. My mom actually used to make these little stocking ornaments. She also made these ice skates. I know lots of people who have ice skate ornaments like this. And she also would make these little beaded ladies, and she would paint them herself. And this is actually an ornament that I made, and it's a little embroidered cactus. I think embroidery was 2 or 3 hobbies ago. So let me tell you about what supplies I am using. I am working on a Bella Art Diamonds canvas. This is called Christmas Cat, and it is from Alice GH. It's just a little snacky sized, which I thought would be perfect for this occasion. I have a Flawa Designs tray on Etsy, and all of this stuff will be listed in the description box. I have pink tweezers. I have 2 pens from Jim's Handmade Pens on Etsy, and I have Galactic alien putty in this one, and I have a very old glue dot in this one that I use for my ABs. And I also have an ephemera 3D tray as well, because I might change back and forth. You never know. I also have Bee's Crafty Corner release papers. I love Care Bears, and I love Reagan Kubitschek's art style. So when she said that she was going to be able to sell some of these, I was all over that. And then, of course, some more wintry ones up there. We are going to be working right here on the section of the cat where he has his little festive Christmas tree glasses. Such a cutie. And there are only 20 colors in this kit. So this, if you are interested in a kind of a kit that will work up easy, this has been a dream. So let me get zoomed in and we will get started. Be right back. I have my first color picked out. I'm going to do a pink, and that is the perfect time to introduce myself in case you are new and you have never seen one of my videos. I am Kristyn of the Crafty-ish Kristyn name, obviously, and I live in Washington State, and I am a wife, a mother, and a daughter. I have 2 kids, a teenager and a tweenager, and my mom actually lives with us in a little mother-in-law suite apartment. Whoa, I'm already messing up. That's great. Let's see, and I have been diamond painting for about, I'm going to say, a year and a half. Oh my gosh. Wow. Obviously, I'm a professional. And I have been on YouTube for, how long has it been? It's been a little over a year, I think. So yeah, that's a short version right there. Fun fact, one of my favorite colors is indeed pink, hence a lot of the pink supplies. And I am actually co-hosting my very first diamond painting event that I've ever been a co-host of with the amazing, talented Mushmello over at Dark and Creepy Diamond Painting. She also had her first premiere, and that was it was in the middle of the night. But even though Dark and Creepy is in her name, she's not dark and creepy. And our event theme is pink and black. I will have a video link in the description box if you want more information about that. But we do have some limited edition release papers available at Bee's Crafty Corner. They turned out amazing. I knew they would. We both have had Sabrina at Bee's Crafty Corner make various release papers for our channels, and they've always turned out amazing. So working with her has been a no-brainer. And I am actually going to put that right there because I am going to end up sticking my hand on that spot right there because I'm working on colors right now. I thought for my video that I would talk a little bit about generosity and gratitude. The definition of generosity is the quality of being kind and generous. And side note, I always thought that you weren't supposed to have the word that you're trying to define in the name of the definition. I guess they're saying generous and not generosity, but seems a little sus to me, but hey, what do I know? I did not write the definition. So generosity is the quality of being kind and generous, and gratitude is the quality of being thankful and the readiness to show appreciation to and returned kindness to others. And I don't know about anyone else, okay? But the holidays can be hard for various reasons. You know, I'm not gonna start listing a bunch of reasons why the holidays can be hard. You know, we all know them. We all have maybe different reasons why the holidays are hard. And I know for me personally that it is very, very easy to kind of lose track of the important things during certain times of the year. Those two actions, generosity and gratitude, a lot of times they go hand in hand with each other. The holidays always make me reflect on times that others have been generous to me and my family, and also times that I have been generous to others. People get hung up on the little details about things. Generosity doesn't have to be a large present or a cash donation or a huge production. Not at all. Small things can make a big difference to somebody. I bet we all could probably think of at least one thing that maybe somebody thought was just, it's nothing, but it meant the world to us. There are lots of different ways that you can be generous. You can give your time. You can help somebody with something, a little elbow grease, help somebody clean something that maybe they are having a hard time. Helping a neighbor put up some Christmas lights, or, giving somebody a ride somewhere they need to go. How about the act of prayer, or buying somebody a meal or some groceries? Sometimes just small acts of service can make a huge impact. And I think that sometimes, and I know I do it too, it's, well, I can't do much, so why do anything? And that is not the case. I mean, how many times has somebody maybe given us something, even if it's just a note or a handwritten card, and somebody says, well, it's nothing, it's just a little thing, it's not really that big of a deal. And sometimes that little thing can just turn your entire day, week, month around. I think it's important that, you know, if we can always try to be a blessing to others, because we don't know what other people are going through. Sometimes the strongest looking people are the ones that need a little bump of kindness, just a little bit more. So I'm going to start off with a humorous story, because humor is one of my love languages. I use humor for everything. That is how I sometimes deal with things. And if I can make somebody laugh or chuckle or maybe just forget, something maybe that's like hard and stressful in their lives, you know what? Then I will do it. I will embarrass myself, and I will embarrass myself in this video. You can let me know at the very end what story is the most embarrassing, please. First off, I am going to say how incredibly grateful I am for my husband's generosity. He works very hard, and sometimes when he gets off work or on the weekends, the last thing he is going to want to do is do something weird and outlandish or a request that I have. This is going to be the story of the Christmas tree enclosure. My favorite decoration for Christmas has always been the Christmas tree. Since I was a kid, Christmas tree. That was the only real, I liked all the Christmas decorations, but that was the one I was the most excited about. I loved the ornaments, I loved the lights, I loved putting the tree up and getting everything arranged just so. Favorite. As a kid, decorating the Christmas tree was the highlight of the season for me. By the time I got to, I think, middle school, I had so many ornaments that I actually had my own artificial tree, because there were so many of them that they were not fitting onto the Christmas tree with all of my mom and dad's ornaments, and I'm an only child. So that tells you how many ornaments I had. We decided to rescue 2 kittens, Duncan and Sharky, in November of 2020. And we all know what happened in 2020, so we're not even going to mention the name of the world disruptor. And I did not think that through. I just assumed that they would have no interest in the Christmas tree, since the 2 cats we had before them that had already passed on never really bothered the Christmas tree. And I was wrong. Wrongity wrong. I don't even know how wrong I could actually be that could be wronger than how wrong I was. A few minutes after we put up the first layer of the artificial Christmas tree, I knew that it was going to be a spicy disaster. They were so happy that we were putting up the tree. They thought it was for them. They were running around it. They had zoomies, and they were I think they were maybe only a few months old. They were leaping into it with, joy in their hearts. They were climbing it. They were throwing pens. They were throwing themselves at the tree. Yeah, it was something. It was something. And we thought, they'll get tired of it, They'll burn off the energy. It won't be fun anymore. No, that did not happen. That did not happen at all. We did eventually put some lights on the tree. We were pulling the cats off the tree as we were trying to put lights on it. And we just kind of sat there and watched them get into the tree, get out of the tree, get into the tree, get out of the tree. And one of our cats has his tail, he was born with a deformed tail, and it's got a little hook at the end of it. Well, he got his tail caught on the Christmas lights, and then he almost pulled the tree over, And we decided maybe the Christmas tree cannot happen this year. I was sad, but I was like, no, let's just take the lights off and, we'll just leave it up and see what they do. Yeah. We Googled, how do you keep cats out of a Christmas tree, right? As every cat owner has probably done at one point in time. And, there was some mixed suggestions. We had the, what do you call it? People said, use a deterrent spray. No, did not work. Use a spray bottle and spray them with a spray bottle when they get into the Christmas tree. I think they actually liked being sprayed with the spray bottle. And then, there was also the thing, well, how do I spray them with the spray bottle when I'm sleeping, right? Yeah, it doesn't work. We tried some, essential oils. Somebody said, lemon oil. We were trying the lemon oil. We bought spike strips that you're supposed to put out in your flower beds to keep animals out of your flower beds. No, they would just walk on them to get to the Christmas tree. I think we left it up for 2 or 3 days before we realized that the tree was not going to happen. I was crushed, obviously, because again, the Christmas tree was my favorite, but we had cats, so it's fine. The next year, we got the tree out again. The cats were older. We figured we'll try. Yeah, no. Same thing, only this time they were bigger, stronger, and heavier. And several branches got broken from climbing. We did not get the lights up this year. We got half the Christmas tree assembled before we realized that's probably not going to work this year either. I was a little salty, not gonna lie, because I wanted my Christmas tree. And my adorable cats were making it so I could not have my Christmas tree. But I'm like, okay, fine, And so my husband said, next year, we're going to put a tree up, okay? We're going to figure out a way to put a tree up. I said, okay, okay. And I think the next year something happened and we couldn't really figure it out. Well, the following year, which was last year, I reminded him of it. I said, you said we were going to have a Christmas tree. And he said, I know, and I was reminding him throughout the year. Nagging, reminding, same thing. And I was getting a little worried because it was September and I had not seen any plans drafted for this impenetrable Christmas tree apparatus. And then October came. And November came, and I'm starting to sweat because my tree is at stake. And I was worried. I'm not gonna lie. I was very, very, very worried. Work was a little tough for him at the moment. There was a lot of stuff going on, and I could tell he was stressed, and I didn't want to bother him. But he said, we would figure it out. So I was Googling. I was looking up things. Problem is, everything I kept finding, I knew my cats could get the tree. They had, Christmas trees that you mount on the ceiling. Well, my cats are jumpers, so they will just jump into the tree and then probably rip it from the ceiling and break all my ornaments. So that is not going to work. Some people were saying baby gates. Again, my cats are jumpers. They will just jump over the baby gate. There was one, I think, that had chicken wire, like the little tiny fencing that goes around the Christmas tree. My cats are climbers, and I knew that they would just climb the tree, and I didn't want them to get hurt or get their nails stuck in the fine mesh chicken wire and then have to go to the vet, and, not how you want to spend, your Christmas money. We needed something that was smooth and impenetrable. And I didn't think it was going to happen, honestly. Building materials were getting ridiculous. And I would rather him spend, I'd rather spend the money on our kids for Christmas than for me to have a Christmas tree. Well, I was a little bummed. And one day, a few days before, I think it was maybe, I don't know if it was right after Thanksgiving or right before Thanksgiving. I can't remember. he came home from the hardware store, and he must have gotten a wild hair up his butt, because he had a car full of wood, like wood boards, and he said, I ordered something on Amazon, and it had come, and I didn't know what it was. And he said, it's marine vinyl. And my first thought was, I don't know what marine vinyl is. Okay. And he said, it's for your Christmas tree enclosure. And I said, okay. You know, I was trying not to get my hopes up, just in case it didn't work. So he built a frame out of all these boards, and it's a 3-sided frame, kind of like a Barbie box almost, but it slides around the Christmas tree. And I will put a picture up of my Christmas tree enclosure, because it is glorious and it is amazing, and my husband is a rock star, and he did that. And then he had the boards, and he stapled the marine vinyl all, you know, in the open areas, so you can still see the Christmas tree, right? Because another thing we were having a problem with was there were some options, but then you wouldn't get to see the ornaments and the lights. And I mean, what's the point if you can't see it? So he built it outside, and then he had to assemble the 3 parts inside. So he had the staple gun and the nail gun, and he's assembling this thing, and the cats are looking at it all, you know, confused and kind of excited. And then we got the tree out and got it put up. Didn't put ornaments on it yet, just because I was a little scared, not gonna lie. And so we put the tree up, slid it around the Christmas tree, and oh my gosh, we could have a Christmas tree again. And so this is the 2nd year that we have had that up, and the cats try to get into it. They try to push on the plastic, and they'll kind of paw at it and rear, but they cannot get it. Although one day I honestly am worried that I'm going to find like a pocket knife or something near the Christmas tree, and there's going to be a slit down the plastic, and they're both going to be in there looking all, you know, smug and everything. But for now, it works. Whenever people come over to our house and they see the enclosure, they laugh, and then of course they ask if they can take pictures, and I'm like, of course you can. Why not? Sharing is caring. Huge thank you to my amazing husband for building me a Christmas tree enclosure so I can have my favorite decoration, and for putting up with my slightly outrageous demands. So I would love to know, do you have pets, and do they mess with your Christmas decorations? All right, the next story I have is about a neighbor that I had when I was a kid. I grew up on a dead-end cul-de-sac, and it was, you know, modest homes, nothing fancy. I mean, although nowadays the houses that are on that street would probably sell for a way higher price than I think they're worth. But you know, that's a whole nother video. We were right at the end of the cul-de-sac, and there was an older lady, and her name was Hazel, and she lived, I think, probably like 3 or 4 houses down. My mom said, because I was asking my mom about this, because I really couldn't remember much about her, and my mom said that me and my best friend that lived next door, we used to always bring her things. Like, we would bring her pictures that we colored, or we would bring her like cookies if my mom made cookies or we helped her. And we would just, you know, stop by, say hi. You know, she always had baked goods and candy. And even sometimes she would have craft projects. And that is the way to my heart right there, is cookies, candy, and craft projects. And I don't remember, you know, what her situation was. My mom said that she thinks her husband passed away, but she couldn't really remember when or anything like that. But my mom did remember that If it snowed or, you know, there was something going on, my dad would go over and shovel her walkway, or, you know, help her, you know, with if there was a storm, to clean up some of the storm damage, stuff like that. And maybe even probably took her to the grocery store a few times if there was, you know, snow or ice and it wasn't safe for her to drive. And I can't be sure of, you know, what her financial situation is. Again, I was a kid, so I didn't pay attention to those things. But I do remember that her house was decorated kind of like my grandma and grandpa's house. It kind of looked like it was, you know, firmly stuck in the late 70s, early 80s. I remember it was clean and it did not have a smell. You know, sometimes people's houses have a smell. I don't remember any kind of unpleasant smells. I think it actually used to smell like cookies, which again, probably why I didn't mind going over there and, you know, hanging out. One year, she gave me and my friend, she gave us a handmade ornament. And at the time, I remember thinking it was so cool that the neighbor gave me an ornament. And she made them herself. And I actually have it right here. This is a little mousy. And I remember always putting this on the Christmas tree in a very prominent place. Because again, I was like, my neighbor made me a Christmas ornament. That is so cool. And because ornaments were my favorite, it, you know, it made sense. Now as an adult, I think back about how she was generous with her time. You know, I don't know if she was on a limited income. What if she had to save to get that yarn to make those? And she used her time to crochet these adorable little ornaments for me and some of the other neighborhood kids. You know, she could have had arthritis or pain in her hands, and she still did it anyway. I remember this year, I could not find that ornament. We went through the ornaments, putting stuff on the Christmas tree, and I couldn't find it. I went through all the ornament boxes. I went through my kids' ornament boxes, and it was nowhere to be found. I started panicking because I knew that I wanted to bring that up in my video, and the thought of having lost that ornament would have been, it'd have been really sad. And my husband actually found it in a different decoration box that just didn't get put away properly, I guess. So I was very relieved that he found it for me. Again, he's awesome and amazing. He always saves the day, I swear. I want to be like Hazel when I get older. I want to be like Hazel right now, actually. Let's rephrase that. I want to be somebody that people feel safe, you know, coming over to your house or stopping by for, you know, some cookies and making people little homemade gifts. I want to be like that. And I don't remember what happened to her. I just remember one day she wasn't there. And I don't know if she had, you know, some kind of medical thing happened or if she had to move. And my mom doesn't remember either. And it's maddening that I can't remember that. But it is interesting. Before my mom moved in with us, we would always, when we would go and we would visit her house, and that was the house that I grew up in as a kid, I would still look over at her house. And even though she hadn't lived there for 20 years or whatever, I still always thought of that as Hazel's house. And while I may not remember much about her, you know, her story, her memory lives on in my little mouse ornament. And I love it. I love my little mouse. And if anything happens to him, I would be so sad. Have you guys ever had a neighbor that was a blessing to others in the area, or one that you just really felt a deep connection to? I feel like as an adult, we have not had that in all the various places that we've lived, and it kind of makes me sad. All right, the next little story I have is about an act of kindness from a stranger at the hairdresser's. This was, it was over 10 years ago. I know that. My husband was working at a company, and it was kind of a dying trade, if you will. And he decided he was going to go and do this training program at the local Votech college to learn a different trade. And they had said that there is, there's financial help available if you need it while you're learning this new trade and you're going to class and, you're doing this stuff. We thought, well, that's great. Yeah, it didn't quite work out that way. In this program it wasn't huge, but it would help with the small amount of money that he was getting from unemployment at the time. And I was a stay-at-home mom, had a toddler, and I didn't have a job because I wasn't going to be able to afford childcare to go to a job because childcare is ridiculously expensive. And so we thought, well, great, we can get a little extra income on the side from this program. And, we won't have to borrow money from family or whatever. But that was not the case. No. I went down to the office where you can talk to people about financial assistance and stuff. And I said, hi, my husband's doing this program and blah, blah, blah. They said we could do this. And she's like, no. And I said, what do you mean? And she said that he doesn't qualify for that because the job he was at isn't a dying profession. And I said, that's not what we were told. And she said, yeah, well, you were told wrong. I was like, oh, crap. And I said, okay, well, is there anything I can sign up for to help us pay our bills right now? Because we pay our taxes and, we pay taxes because of this, right? And she's like, how much are you making with unemployment? And I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't even enough to pay our mortgage bill. And she said, and how many kids do you have? And I said, well, we have one. And she said, are you pregnant? And I said, no. And she said, yeah, no, you don't qualify for anything. I was kind of shocked. She was blunt, but you deal with all kinds of people when you work for the state. So I get it. And I said, what do you mean? We don't qualify for anything. I said, we can't even just get like a little assistance with, food or anything. And she said, no. She said, if you had a few more kids or you were pregnant, you would qualify. But right now, you don't qualify. And I said, so we're making less than $1,000 a month, and that won't even pay for our mortgage bill, and you're saying that we don't qualify. And she said, yeah. She goes, well, go ahead. She said, if you got pregnant and you had some more kids, you would qualify. And I said, that doesn't seem like a very responsible thing to do. Since I can't pay my bills now, maybe I shouldn't be, getting knocked up. But, hey, what do I know, right? Yeah, it was not a good meeting. I was not feeling Christmassy after that meeting. And the next day, I had a haircut appointment. And my mom and I were going to the same lady. And she had a salon in her house. And my mom was sick, and so she ended up not going. Okay, these drills are not going in. Go in there. Oh my gosh, why are you sticking to my tray? Yep, it's fine. My mom didn't go, and I went by myself, and I was not feeling Christmassy at all. I was the opposite of Christmassy. I was very Grinchy. I was very Scroogey. I was just not feeling it, I was annoyed and frustrated that, I'm like, we're not going to be able to buy a lot of things for Christmas, and, I just want to be able to pay my bills, that kind of thing. And so the hairdresser, she worked out of her house, and she was running late, and so she was still working on the lady's hair that was before me, and they were chatting, and they were kind of including me in the chat, if you will. And my hairdresser asked, hey, how's that program working out? And I said, well, the program's good, but, we kind of have a slight problem. And I was explaining the whole situation. And the lady in the chair was, she was just outraged. And she said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, And I said, yeah, it's fine. We have family. We're not going to go hungry. It's just frustrating because, naively, I thought that's why we pay taxes. Is so if you need help or assistance, you can get help and assistance. And I had known several people who were basically milking the system and, getting unemployment for multiple years and having side jobs, but, not saying that's right. But it was like, why can't I get a little help? I just want a little bit of help. I didn't want the state to pay for me to go on a world vacation or anything. And, we were just kind of talking, chatting, and the lady got done with her hair, and she paid the hairdresser with a check, and she walked up to me, and she handed me an envelope. And I was a little confused, because why is this stranger handing me an envelope? And she said, "I want you to get your kiddo something special for Christmas." And I was very confused at that point, and I opened the envelope, and I think it was $100. I was so blown away that this complete stranger was handing me an envelope with $100 in it. And I was just stumbling over my words like I am now, and I said, I wasn't, no, we're fine, we have family, we have credit cards, like, we'll make do. And she said, no. She said, "You get your little guy something special for Christmas." And, I think I started crying probably, and, gave her a hug, and I am not a hugger, which says something. And she left, and I was a little just kind of shocked. And my hairdresser said, "That's why she paid with a check." And I said, "What do you mean?" And she told me that this woman always pays for her hair with cash, but she gave me the cash that she would have given the hairdresser for her hair. And she said that that they went to the same church, and she was very active in the community and was always the first to sign up to bring somebody a meal or help with a fundraiser, or if somebody just needed anything, she was there. And she said she obviously saw something in you, and she wanted to bless you. And I wish that I knew, I remembered who it was or anything like that, so I could, pass along the blessing. And I think I did actually ask my hairdresser a few years later, and she said, "Nope." She goes, you take that momentum, that feeling that you had when somebody did that for you, and you do it for somebody else. She said that is what she would have wanted. I think the lady actually passed away, now that I think about it. Whenever I buy things for the toy drive or, a food drive, I always think about the lady at the hairdresser's, and, I hope that, I'm paying it forward. That's what I want to do, is I want to try and be a blessing to others, just like she was a blessing to our family at that moment, because that was, it made me feel like, okay, there are still nice and kind people out there in the world when, we get surrounded by so much, so much ugliness out there in the world, and it's so hard to focus on the ugly and not on the generosity, on being grateful for some of the ways that others have blessed us. Actually, a year or two later, after the hairdresser generosity gift, our local Buy Nothing group, somebody put up a post and said, "I'm looking for," I don't even remember what it was, "for my kids for Christmas. Does anybody have any of these items?" And a lot of people were like, yes, we do. And so it kind of, I think we were breaking the rules in the Buy Nothing group. I'm just going to say it. One person decided to take it upon themselves to create a kind of master list of things that people were looking for the holidays, and then people could sign up to, if, let's say you had some of those things, or if you, were going to be out shopping and you wanted to pick those up for somebody, you could do that too. And if you're not familiar with the Buy Nothing group, it's supposed to be a local, very, very, very local group that, is on Facebook. And the whole purpose is to not have to buy new things, that you could maybe share or donate or offer things up to people who, might be looking for that thing. For example, like, let's say you're getting rid of some art. some pictures on the wall that, you know, you're like, I don't like these anymore. You could put them in your buy nothing local group, and somebody might say, hey, I'd love those pictures. I think I still belong to one in our area right now, actually. And I'm not really on it that often, but some people will, you know, say, hey, you know, I'm doing a craft fair, and does anybody have one of those, you know, covered tents that I could borrow for the weekend? Or somebody might say, hey, you know, my sister's getting married, and does anybody have a barbecue that we could borrow? Because we're going to have a lot of people over and we need to cook a lot of food. That kind of thing. And it became this huge production. It was amazing. And we were financially stable by then. And I don't even remember what I signed up to buy. There was a very wide range of asks. I mean, some people were asking for pajama pants. And one lady graciously offered to make, I think, like 50 pairs of pajama pants, honestly. And, you know, some people were asking for toys. Some people were asking for practical things, you know, like kitchen utensils, dishes, you know, bathroom towels even. And I remember there were people even asking, you know, hey, does, you know, anybody have one of those, you know, free turkey vouchers? Or, you know, can, you know, somebody donate a ham for our Christmas dinner? And it was awesome. And I'm so thankful that the community came together and they delivered. And I would have never met some of these people if it wasn't for that Buy Nothing group and, you know, the big kind of outreach program that it basically was to try to help people give, you know, their kids, their families, themselves, you know, just maybe a little bit more comfort at Christmas time. Or, you know, maybe, I mean, there were so many people too that were sharing stories about how, you know, I'm out of work, I got injured, you know, we had a death in the family, or, you know, kids have, you know, really like, you know, scary, you know, medical problems, and it got really bad. And just the factor that the community came together and took care of these people that we may not have ever met, even though you all live in, you know, a 3-mile radius or whatever. It was beautiful. And I wish that my local group actually did something like that. And maybe next year, maybe I will try to take it upon myself to try to organize that. We always do try to, you know, donate to the toy drives and the food drives and stuff like that. But to actually know exactly, you know, what somebody is looking for and to be able to provide that, I think could definitely be a blessing to others. Have any of you guys ever been a part of something like that with a Buy Nothing group, or just a big, I don't know, a big master list of things that people are looking for the holidays? When I was a kid, I was a very picky eater. And I'm talking very. Food was not allowed to touch. There were food groups I would not even consider trying. Just, yeah. It's a thing. I did not want to try pumpkin pie. It looked gross, number one. It was brown, orangey, gelatinous, it jiggled, just no. And I was already kind of scared of Jell-O and gelatin because I had been told that the gelatin is made from animal bones. And even though I could eat chicken nuggets and hamburgers, for some reason, animal bones sounded like that's off limits. Go figure. It was a giant nope sandwich for me. One year, I must have been in elementary school. I was at my grandma's house. And she always made the Thanksgiving meal. And she, you know, she went all out. She made the pumpkin pies by hand. She made everything by hand. There was no store-bought nothing going on at her house. And the pumpkin pie smelled amazing. I mean, amazing, amazing. And I kept walking by it. And I kept looking at it. And I'm like, no, it looks gross. It looks gross. Finally, I was brave. And I decided to try just a little nugget of pie. A little sliver. Just a little tiny bite. Just a little one. Smidgen. Smidgen. I reluctantly got a fork. Cut a little piece. Put it up to my lips. And tasted it. And I loved it. I had a little bit more. Because it was amazing. It was a party in my mouth. And then I had a little more. And by the time I was done eating this heaven slice dessert extravaganza, I had probably eaten a fourth of a pumpkin pie. It wasn't a big Costco pie or anything like that, but you know, still a decent amount of pie. And I was so excited. I was like, I am so brave. I tried a new food. Look at me. Went home and my best friend came over. The one who also had the same ornament as me. And she said, hey, we have pie. And I said, what kind of pie do you have? And she said, we have apple and we have pumpkin. And I said, I love pumpkin pie. And she said, what? And you know, she was shocked, obviously, because I'd never eaten pumpkin pie before. And I said, I love pumpkin pie now. I want some more. And she said, well, come on over. You know, we got pie. So we had some pie at her house. And I probably ate another fourth of a pie. So I had probably consumed a half a pie on my own in a matter of, 3 hours on top of Thanksgiving dinner. That mainly, I basically eat carbs for Thanksgiving as a kid. I didn't eat much turkey. It was mainly sweet potato casserole and mashed potatoes and rolls. So yeah, there was a lot of carbohydrates in my body. And, it was amazing. I was like, this is better than cookies. This is better than ice cream. I want pumpkin pie for my birthday. I want pumpkin pie for every single dessert that I could ever eat is going to be pumpkin pie. Well, that's what I thought. And then after a little bit of time, the tummy started to make some weird, very weird sounds. Sounds that normally did not come from my stomach. And I was still excited that I had tried new things. That excitement died when everything that I had put into my body decided to come out of my body. And at that moment, I was very thankful for indoor plumbing. I was grateful. I was so grateful for indoor plumbing. And that I wasn't having to go to the bathroom in an outhouse or outside. And I was also very grateful that the neighbors did not make me help clean up the bathroom after I was done in there. Because I'm pretty sure I would have just made a bigger mess if I would have had to try to clean it up. I was also grateful that there was not school the next day. Because there was no way I would have been able to go to school the way I was feeling. It probably took me 20 years, I'm not even joking, to try pumpkin pie again. I had had pumpkin muffins, pumpkin scones, those kinds of things, but pumpkin pie, oh heck no. And when I did have pumpkin pie, I had a tiny, tiny, tiny little nugget, a sliver, and I stopped at the sliver. I said, okay, I did it. I proved to myself that I can eat it. And I don't think I've eaten it since. So, do you have any holiday foods that you've eaten in the past, that you've had some trauma from, that you can no longer eat? I would love to know in the live chat or the comments section. Please let me know. Are you a pumpkin lover? Do you love pumpkin flavored everything? Or are you a pumpkin hater? Let's see. And the last little story I have is also about ornaments. I probably could have done a whole video just talking about ornaments, but that's okay. My mom worked with a lady at her work, and this lady did not have any kids. Her and her husband, I don't know the specifics, and I was a kid, so I wasn't going to ask. They didn't have any kids, and she was kind of like a surrogate aunt to a lot of the people in the office. And I thought, actually, that She started doing this when I was born, but the ornaments don't lie. And it was actually 2 years after I was born. She started buying me ornaments. And the first ornament that she bought me was this Hallmark Nostalgic House ornament. The first year they came out was 1984. And look. Nope, come on. You might not be able to read that, but it says Alice, 1984, because that is who gave it to me. She bought me one of the Hallmark Nostalgic House ornaments every year until I graduated from high school. And then she gave me a note, and it said that, she had, given me the ornaments every year until I was 18, and this was the last year that she was going to do it, and that she hoped I would carry on the tradition and, buy them for myself if I wanted to, or not, obviously, I have choice. And I remember kind of feeling sad that she wasn't going to buy them anymore. We had a local Hallmark store, and my mom loved to go to the Hallmark. My gosh. And we would always go around the holidays, and I would try not to look at what the house ornament was going to be, because I knew she was going to buy it for me, and I wanted to be surprised. Sometimes I'd peek. But for the most part, I think I could kind of control myself a little bit. And I bought them for a few years afterwards. I think my mom did, actually, but it just wasn't the same, So I've gotten a few here and there, but I actually did pull out my ornaments, and I'll put a picture up of my mantle because I have, I've got a lot of them. I had ornaments, I had all the house ornaments from 1984 until 2000. And then I have a few after 2000. And so they take up kind of a lot of room when you put them out. I definitely could not put them on the Christmas tree after a certain amount of time, because the entire Christmas tree would just be house ornaments. So then we put them on the mantle and, make a little village. I think one year we actually got little, Christmas lights and the fake snow and made a little Santa's village out of them. She was so generous, and she would go and she would buy the ornament, she would wrap it up. There was always a handwritten note with, a card, and, just the factor that, she took the time out to, think about me and get me an ornament. It, I don't think I appreciated it probably as much as a kid as I do now as an adult. Do you guys have a collection that's been gifted to you, or something that somebody always, gives you? Let's say always gives you a cat or a frog or something at the holiday times, or just maybe for birthdays and stuff. I think it's kind of a fun thing, as long as the person enjoys it, obviously. You wouldn't want to buy something for somebody and have it be, that they don't like the thing anymore. That might not be good. But I kind of wish that I would have kept buying the houses, even though I didn't have room for them, because they took up some space in the boxes and just when you put them all out. But I kind of wish I would have gotten them all. And I still could. I could go online and check out, which ones I don't have, to try to complete the collection. Oh my gosh, look at how cute this little kitty is getting. Oh, so cute. I cannot wait to see these Christmas tree glasses come together. Let's see, I am going to zoom out. All right, I have zoomed out so you can see the progress that I have made on this adorable little Kit Kat. So cute. Nose boop, boop. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for my first Christmas premiere video. If you're in the live chat, I hope you had a good time. If you are watching this on a replay, I hope you leave me a comment or two. And could you guess what the embarrassing story was? I hope you can. Yeah, and you know what? It's okay to laugh at me because I can laugh about it now. My neighbors were not laughing at the time. Let me tell you. So go ahead, and if you have not, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing, hearting, farting, doing all the things. Go get a snacky snack. Go get a beverage. Go use the potty if you need to, because you don't want to miss the next video that is coming up. I am going to do my darndest to be in the live chat as well. So I will catch you guys over there. If you guys want to see this diamond painting finished, go ahead and subscribe, because I will most certainly have a post review and kit down in the very near future. And knowing my luck, my cats will probably make an appearance. Shockingly, they did not in this video. They are sleeping because it's a little later in the day than I normally record. So I will see you guys again very, very soon. Big awkward hugs. Bye, guys.